when I arrived at Lamont, everyone was working on plate tectonics, but in the oceans. And I thought, well, it's quite interesting to see whether this works for land geology as well. So I thought, well, there are certain lessons one's learnt already from plate tectonics. One is that you've got to look at a large region. It's no good looking, and the geologists did, at something you could map at 1 to 50,000. That's hopeless. The other thing is that you should look at what's happening now. And the method we had for looking at what's happening now was earthquake mechanisms. So I grabbed, in the autumn of 1967, I grabbed the area from the Azores to eastern Iran, which I thought was probably big enough for us to be able to sort out what was happening in the Mediterranean. Seismically quite active. That paper, was the beginnings of something quite different, which was that because it was clear that the information was distributed, you couldn't really talk about plate tectonics in many of the areas of that. But there were regions inside the continents which really didn't have many earthquakes, which were moving rigidly. So it was a muddle. And the question was, should you try and use smaller and smaller and smaller plates, or should you actually say, nope, this is a continuum, right? And that, at that stage, was not clear. So that got me into continental tectonics, which was clearly a different animal. But everybody, including me, were trying to turn it into plate tectonics. I worked with Nigel Weiss to look at convection in very viscous fluids, which the fluid dynamicists had not done very much on at that stage. And in particular, it was possible by that stage to do two-dimensional numerical calculations at high Rayleigh numbers. So we set up a program to do that, and we started in the early 70s and did a lot of work, really doing numerical experiments on the machine, of trying to understand what actually happened with high Rayleigh numbers. And the real importance of doing it on the machines was that you could calculate the gravity anomalies and the surface deformation, which we knew from much further back that was really from my thesis. Yeah. We knew that was the expression of the convection in the interior. All the geophysicists are busy trying to model the Earth, and putting in every sort of complication you can, what I call kitchen sink modelling, which I don't think you learn anything, What I want to do is numerical experiments and see how these things behave.